Welcome to Your Health Today with Charlie Rouse. In our program today, we'll talk about health issues that are important to you and your family and how products from the world of natural medicine can help us all stay strong, fit, and healthy. And now, here's your host of Your Health Today, Chris Hall.
Well, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and it's so good to have you with us on our program today with Dr. Charlie Rouse. And Dr. Rouse, welcome to Your Health Today. And how are you? Are you healthy today?
Amen. Better than good, Chris. Amen. And I thank the Lord for it, and I appreciate you and your podcast.
Yeah, well, it's good to be with everyone today as we try to stay strong and fit and healthy in these challenging days. And so here we go. We're headed into the holiday season, the Christmas season. And there's so much stress on people, Dr. Rouse, right now. So much stress, to go and get this done, that done. But then you always have in the back of your mind, you hear the reports and the stories about COVID-19 and what it's doing in society and how it's affecting people. A lot of stress these days. And my stress reliever, and I don't mean to sound holier than thou, but my stress reliever is prayer. When I feel like, everything's kind of crashing in on me, I just go to the Lord in prayer. And I find that the great way to relieve my stress is just to take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there and cast all your care upon Him. And to know that whatever happens, He's going to take care of you. So that's one way to deal with stress, and I think it's the best way. But also, I know that there are natural products that can kind of help smooth this out and get us maybe a little on the brighter side of life. What about that? What about good information dealing with natural products and how to deal with stress?
Well, I'll segue right into that, Chris, because there's a world of herbs for a world of woe. Yeah. And when people have a woe, they want to know why. And then the next question they ask Dr. Charlie is, what do I take for my woe? Let me reiterate what you just said, because probably more important than anything that Chris or Charlie can tell you today in the world of natural medicine is that when you're in a fix, remember Philippians 4:6. When you're in a fix, 4:6, Philippians 4:6. And God says, hey, be anxious about nothing. Don't worry about anything. But what Chris was just saying, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, attitude determines your altitude.
That absolutely.
Outlook determines your outcome.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be up, then you need to be on your knees praying. And now, in the world of natural medicine, Psalm 104, verse 14, God does say in your Bible, where He says the grass is for the cow, moo. He says the herb is for you and me. And in the world of the herb, for anxiety and stress, number one nutrition is GABA, G-A-B-A. It stands for gamma amino butyric acid. That's for us biochemists in organic chemistry, gamma amino butyric acid. You don't need to know that, but you can remember GABA, G-A-B-A, GABA. And guess what? When GABA goes down, anxiety and stress are alleviated, because what's happening is you're burning the candle at both ends. Yeah. And now you're crying out for more wax. So at least GABA gives you more wax.
There you go.
It goes to the limbic system of the brain, way down there where the worry center is, and it calms things down. And GABA is it. So anxiety and stress would be put out with GABA. That's the best way to support.
Now, is that good for kids and teenagers?
That's a great question, Chris, because you think about little kids when they're trying to learn their ABCs and mathematics. They get very nervous and discombobulated. Yeah. And we have made a lot of students a better student with GABA. So if that student is hyperactively nervous, GABA's perfect. And yes. And I have had mamas come in here to the medicine man's corner and say, thank you for giving me back my teenager.
Really?
Because they really were just wiped out with stress and worry, pulling their hair out, and at least it gives them a natural do no harm, and they never have to take what do they call that stuff? Xanax, Ativan, and Valium, and Zoloft. They don't have to take that because God made something natural.
Right, and those pharmaceuticals, they have their after effects, and they have deleterious things that kind of go along with it. As difficult as 2020 has been for adults, I do think a lot about the kids. Many of them have not been able to go back to school. They don't have a regular routine, and they feel kind of out of control because they see mom and dad maybe struggling, and they see all this happening, and it's really a burden on our children. I want children happy. I want them laughing. I want them playing. I want them to enjoy life. I don't want all the cares and the burdens of life to be on their shoulders yet. And so, I really feel for our children these days, and I'm anxious for things to get back to what we used to call normal. One of the reasons I'm really anxious for that is for our children's health and
totally
well-being.
Agree. And some moms and dads are beginning to notice too that if they cut back on the refined sugars and the caffeines like in the soda pops and stuff, and refine the junk foods, it's not to say curtail it, but minimize it. They've actually find that the child responds much, much better. Cool. I had one child, Chris, that 10 or 11 years old, just kept chronic problem with bedwetting. Yeah. And the mother was distraught. And, of course, the child was anxious about it. Yeah. And I said, well, have you ever just checked by eliminating anything from the dairy cow? No cheese, no ice cream, no milk. No, never thought of that. And did you know that just taking just that one antigen reactor in that child away, that child has never wet the bed again.
That's amazing.
So it's just, and you say, well, how are you going to find out what food it is? Well, you take your pulse. You go ahead and take your pulse. What is it? Say 80. And then an hour later, after you've eaten whatever you're going to eat, you take your pulse again. Yeah. And if your body is having a conniption fit with what you just ate, it'll raise your pulse 20 points or more. So
really?
It'll take it from 80 to 100.
Wow.
And then you can know, well, it was in the ketchup, it was in the mustard, it was in the peanut. I don't know what it's going to be. That? But you can actually pulse your self to find out what food your body says don't eat that anymore. Now, aren't you and I going to be sad if we pulse and find out we can't eat chocolate no more?
At least my Fitbit watch will come in handy. I can check my pulse with it. How about that? All right, Dr. Rouse, we have a question today, and this comes from Martin from Alabama. He says, my doctor said that it is important to take vitamin D to help with lung health. And my question is this true? And how does vitamin D help with lung health? Now, vitamin D, that's the sunshine vitamin, right?
And nobody gets it anymore because we put our Atlanta Braves baseball cap on and we stay inside, and when we go out we lather up. So you're right. Vitamin D is sunshine. And everybody needs 35 units.
35.
For every 1 pound of body weight. So you do the math.
Yeah.
So at 200 pounds, that's 7,000 plus units. Now, vitamin D controls probably 200 or 300 mechanisms of action in the human body.
Wow.
And the major ones that you're looking at are the lungs, the lungs, the heart, and the blood sugars. So, or the immune system. And man, I've heard more with the COVID virus running rampant. I've heard more doctors recommend to their patients take vitamin D3. Wow. And why? Because it's
D3 now. Is that the D3?
Yeah, there's a D2 and a D3, and you want to go 1, 2, 3. D number 3 is the natural. D2 is the man had to go try to make what God already made. And D3 is just natural.
Right.
No side effect, do no harm.
How about that? Well, the President Trump, of course, had the COVID-19. And I was reading about, what he received from his doctors and how they treated him. included in that, and I made a note of it because I said, I'm going to, of course, I know you know it, but I'm going to ask Dr. Charlie about that. He took Regeneron's polyclonal antibody cocktail, but he also took zinc, vitamin D. This is what the doctors gave him: zinc, vitamin D, a Pepsid, a melatonin, and a daily aspirin, along with some other products, pharmaceutical products, prescription products. And so doctors are recognized that's natural stuff, and they treated the president with that, right?
You're right. Well, see, zinc, ionic zinc, causes all viruses to stop replicating.
Really?
So hey, when you got a daily dose of zinc, kaboom. But let me cautious people on this, because zinc, individual minerals are not necessarily the best way to go. You need a mixture of it, because zinc depletes copper. So if I took zinc every day and I depleted copper, what happens when I'm low on copper? Aneurysms.
Oh boy.
Oh my boy.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Oh my boy. We don't want no aneurysm. So the best thing to do is, I'm a big fan of ionic minerals. Centramin, Sentramin is my favorite form of minerals, because they're nano size. They're itty bitty, teeny weeny, and I get all the zinc, all the copper, all the manganese, all the boron, all the magnesium. I get it all in one dose.
Okay.
So that's a good way to go.
Very good. And what was that again?
Centramin.
Centramin.
Sentramin. Matter of fact, if you're into natural medicine, you ought to Google the Centramin, because what it is, that 4,000 years ago, when Noah got on the ark and God flooded the earth, some of these plants got mashed down in the mud.
Yeah.
And now, out in Broken Bow, Oklahoma, they're able to dig down in the dirt and pull up the plant still in its pristine purity, green as it ever was the day it went down.
Really?
And from that, they're able to extract the minerals that are 4,000 years old, but in perfect order, in the right amount, in the best of form. And when I saw that, I said, God, this is going to be like Charlie's going to start swallowing some dirt, and I'm going to get some dirt from the earth that you planted 4,000 years ago. And I take Centramin every day, because I feel like, hey, you know what? And when they analyzed the dirt, they found that it has 70 minerals in it.
Are you kidding?
And they're all in perfect order.
Give me some of that dirt.
Only God can do it. So you would like some dirt?
Yeah.
I'm going to fix you up.
Sounds good to me. All right, if you want more information about all of this, you can call Dr. Rouse again, 229-436-0100, and he'll be happy to talk to you. Now, if you don't get him the first time around, just leave a message, and Dr. Rouse will get back to you eventually. Or you can send him an email. That's drrouse@att.net. That's DOCTORROUSE@att.net. You can hook up with Dr. Rouse at Facebook, Charles Rouse Jr. Go to the Medicine Man's Corner, the website, themedicineman.com. Just a lot of ways to get in touch with Dr. Rouse. He would love to hear from you, and he would love to share some good information with you and maybe answer a question or two. And speaking of that, we'll have some more questions for Dr. Rouse. Coming up in just a moment, we'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
Your Health Today with Dr. Charlie Rouse. We'll be right back.
Who is Dr. Charlie Rouse? Dr. Rouse is a pharmacist with a degree from the University of Georgia College of Pharmacy. He is an expert in the world of natural medicine. He is the founder and owner of the Medicine Man's Corner, a business which specializes in pharmaceutical-grade nutritional vitamins, natural products, and more. Dr. Rouse is a natural product formulator, writer, author, lecturer, and radio and TV personality. Dr. Rouse is a husband and father. He is also a Christian who really cares about helping people. For more information on the many products Dr. Rouse has to offer, visit his website, themedicineman.com. You can contact Dr. Rouse through his website, or you can email him at drrouse@att.net. That's DOCTORROUSE@att.net. Or you can call Dr. Rouse at 229-436-0100. to set up a confidential professional healthcare consultation in person, over the phone, or on the internet. Dr. Rouse would love to hear from you.
Here's Chris Hall, host of Your Health Today, with the Medicine Man, Dr. Charlie Rouse.
Dr. Rouse, what's good for bone health?
For women, the biggest threat to bone health is osteoporosis. That's a condition in which the bones lose their supporting tissue as well as their mineral content. Osteoporosis affects better than 20 million women in the United States, and a woman can reduce the risk of osteoporosis by engaging in regular exercise, not smoking, drinking less soda pops, and getting with supplementation. Certainly we know about calcium and vitamin D, but the most important nutrition for the bone is iproflavone, I-P-R-I-F-L-A-V-O-N-E. Iproflavone. It's a natural for bone density.
His website is themedicineman.com.
I'm still...
Welcome back to Your Health Today with Dr. Charlie Rouse.
Sorry about that. I'm still kind of interested in eating dirt. That'll be kind of interesting. All right, Dr. Rouse, what's on your heart today? What's on your mind today for our podcast? What you want to talk about?
You know, as I started interviewing people and asking them what would be your number one medical condition that Dr. Charlie could help you with. And, you know, I thought it was going to be weight loss or something like that. People are going to come back and kick on that. And I said, well, we're not going to talk about weight loss. This is the holiday season, so let's just kick it right.
Let's don't meddle, okay?
Let's don't meddle with none of that. But by far, the top of the list, and even with the all the viruses and the flus and all that, I thought it might be the immune system. And, you know, immune system is important. But when it got down to the nitty-gritty, more people complained about pain and inflammation than anything else. Yeah. And I said, well, what do you do? And of course, over the last 5 or 10 years, turmeric, curcumin, that yellow powder has exceeded probably the number sales. Curcumin, turmeric. And then last year, CBD from the hemp. Mm-hmm. Everybody was getting hemp involved in CBD. Everybody came out with CBD. Yeah. And so we test marketed curcumins and CBDs. But in the body, the human body, I said, you know, the endocannabinoid system, that's the body.
Easy inside. For you to say, okay.
The ECS, the endocannabinoid system. That's your pain threshold.
Oh, okay.
That's everything about you. And if you got a headache, then you say, well, I need that zone in my head to get fixed. Right. Or if you got a sciatic nerve, you need that long nerve coming out of your back down to your leg. Or if you got neuropathy, you know, you're burning, or your knees are swelling, or your hip, or whatever. And so as a pharmacologist, I started studying. Is it turmeric? Is it CBD? What is it we need? And lo and behold, Chris, I ran across some old research papers with celery. Have you ever eaten
celery?
Talk of celery.
I love celery.
Well, in celery is a very powerful anti-inflammatory.
Really?
And then there's a beautiful plant that God created called the horsetail. It fashions itself in the shape of a little short horse tail. Yeah. But silica, the mineral silica, is in that horsetail. It fixes swelling in joints and things like that. Then they had a thistle. You know, when God cursed the earth, he put thorns and thistles. Right. Well, in the curse, in the thistle, in the nettle is a chemistry that's anti-inflammatory. So we borrowed from God's curse to bring it into the lab. And then, of course, everybody has always bragged for years and years, you got to garlic this and garlic that. Right. And people who eat garlic don't have pain. So we took the 4 herbs, celery, horse nettle, and the horsetail, and the garlic, put it into one nutrition. Wow. And we started experimenting on, first we did it with 10 patients, and then 100, then 500, then 1,000, and then 5,000.
Wow.
And we started getting emails and text messages and Facebook responses. And we said, there must be more to it than not.
Yeah.
So I asked my chemist, I said, look, let's go to a 4-to-1 concentration. That means we'll use 4 pounds of garlic, 4 pounds of celery, 4 pounds of horsetail, 4 pounds at 4-to-1, 4 pounds for every 1 pound of powder. And let's take the milligrams that we just used, 50 milligrams in the experiment, let's double it.
Cool.
And we did.
Yeah.
And it works so good.
So, listen, so this would be a good alternative to something like ibuprofen, acetaminophen, or whatever.
Yeah, and acetaminophen or Tylenol is the most common pain reliever, and ibuprofen right there behind it.
Right.
But see, Tylenol is not safe. It's liver toxic.
Okay.
And ibuprofen degenerates the cartilage and tears up the tummy. Yeah. So let's go with the natural. Do no harm.
Right.
Totally safe. Always available.
Wow.
And
so do you take this every day or just when you're hurting?
2 whenever you need it. So 2 every 4 hours if you need it. If you got pain or inflammation or neuropathy or a muscle problem or a headache or PMS or or swelling in the knee, then give it a try, give it a whirl, see what happens, and see what comes about.
Now, you can, obviously this product is available at the Medicine Man's Corner. And listen, you ship too, all around the country. I know that, and even out of the country. So if you're interested in something that Dr. Rouse has talked about, he'd love to talk with you some more about it. Again, 229-436-0100. And he'll be happy to talk with you about that. Well, that's extremely interesting. And see, as you and I talk and as I watch you, you get so excited about this stuff. I know your first passion is the Lord, loving Him, serving Him, and making Him known. But this is just as, the spiritual part of us is very important, obviously, most important. But the physical part is important as well because we're saved to the uttermost. The Lord didn't just save our soul, He saves our body as well, right?
Amen with that. Boy, that's a Hebrew truth out of the book of Hebrews, saved to the uttermost.
Good deal.
And Chris, I still preach 4 sermons every week, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, and I go to Anchorage on Thursday night. Man, if I was all discombobulated and all fatigued and
you'd be wore out after a while.
How could I preach? But God has given me good strength, good health, and I thank the Lord for it.
Yeah, and the Anchorage is a recovery center for men dealing with addiction, and Dr. Rouse helps with that good ministry. Dr. Rouse, I have a question from Mary. She's from Georgia. She says, Dr. Rouse, I'm a senior citizen. As I grow older, I want to stay sharp mentally. What vitamin or natural product can help me to do that? And, I know a lot of older folks, senior citizens, they maybe sometimes look around and see a friend dealing with dementia and things like that, and it really is concerning to them. So I can understand Mary and where she's coming from. What about her question? What's a good answer?
And mental acuity and cognitive enhancement and senile dementia, or what do they call it? The old-timers disease, or the senior moments. They are very disconcerting, and people really are concerned about it. So in order to support your memory, to protect your brain, to make things not go south, and to keep your focus and your concentration and your agility to quick think, the vitamin you're looking for is called PS. It stands for phosphorine. But I guarantee you on the bottle, it'll have the 2 letters PS. And at 100 milligrams per day, PS will make you sharper than a whippersnapper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so PS is the deal to go to. Now, remember, what was the very first product that Dr. Charlie got involved with was Charlie's Choice.
Yeah.
Now, that improves the blood circulation. That improves the integrity of the blood flow. So, sometimes it's a catch-22 if you're not getting circulation to the noggin.
Right.
Yeah, you better also think about Charlie's Choice.
Okay. Man, good information. And Mary, we hope that has been a blessing to you. And again, 229-436-0100 is the number you can call and talk to Dr. Rouse, and he'll be happy to talk with you about that. Dr. Rouse, I have a personal question. You know, back when all this pandemic stuff started, I'm not out and active, and I was in the middle of a move and things like that. And I began to put on weight, and I went to my doctor, a regular doctor's appointment, and my doctor didn't say this to me, but I saw it written in the notes, approaching obesity. And I said, no, I'm not going to do this. So here's what I did. I ordered me one of those treadmills, So I put the thing together, and I'm walking, try to be disciplined with it at least 5 or 6 days a week. And I've lost a lot of weight. But I'm to the point now where I've lost to a point, but it seems like I can't get over the hump to lose some more. I want to lose some more weight. Yeah. So I think that's a common thing that happens, especially with older guys. Or gals, you get to a point where you've lost, and you can't seem to get any more over that. You're not losing like you were at one time. So is that a common thing, and how can you address it if you're trying to get more stronger and healthy and lose weight? What do you have when it comes to helping to people to lose weight in a safe way? Now, I don't believe in dieting, because I just think once you diet and then you go back to it and you put on more weight, I think more of a lifestyle change.
I'm with you. Okay. So. And the description that you're describing is called metabolism. Yeah. And it is true that the older we get, the slower our metabolism comes. But that treadmill put you back into first gear, so your metabolism kicked back in.
Right.
You lost substantially, and then you hit a plateau. And what we find in natural medicine is from the mint, M-I-N-T, a mint plant. They call it forskolin. Forskolin. It's a pretty neat. That's the name of it. That's the name of the herb, forskolin. And what it does, that one herb doctors up your thyroid. It makes your metabolism better. It takes a person and gives them a metabolism like they had when they were 20 years old.
Really?
And without...
Well, give me a bucket of it here.
And it doesn't tax your heart.
Okay.
It helps your blood pressure.
Right.
It doesn't make you nervous. It doesn't make you jittery.
Oh.
Doesn't interfere with your sleep. Originally, forskolin came to the market as a eye nutrition because it was helping people with pressure in their eye and their macular. And then they found out, hey, look, this person over here actually lost 5 pounds while using forskolin. Wow. So that's a good nutrition to try.
Yeah, very good. All right, well, I'll give it a shot. Quickly, as we come to the end of our program, I did have a question. We've got a question about the flu shot. People are getting their flu shots. Then you have the COVID-19 vaccine, apparently, on the horizon coming our way. And people are, okay, do I take the flu shot this year if I haven't already? What about the COVID-19 vaccination? Are these things going to collide with one another? Just, for those of us who don't have a medical background, we have these questions. You get all this information. Yeah. So what about the flu shot? What about the COVID-19 vaccination? Will they contradict one another, fight with one another, or help one another? I don't know.
We do have a vaccine for everything, from the flu to the shingles to the pneumonia to the, you name it, hepatitis, and now COVID. And the key to remember is that vaccines are only as good as your immune system. Right. So make your immune system priority. Right. For me personally, it's glutathione. I take glutathione every morning. I know that my immune system is up. Have I ever taken a flu shot? I don't reckon I need one because I take care of my immune system. Yeah. But if you're going to fudge or hedge yourself, you may be the one to take whatever your doctor recommends. You depend on your doctor. Stick with them. Right. For me personally, I'm going to look after my immune system first and foremost.
And if you take a vaccine and your immune system is compromised, it can actually do harm.
It'll do harm. Yep. The shingles will show up. The pneumonia will get worse. The flu will become radical. So, and who knows what's going to come out of the COVID injections?
Oh boy, I tell you, there's a lot of questions about that. Well, Dr. Rouse, that's going to wrap up our program for today. Thank you so much for the good information that you've shared today. Once again, if you want to contact Dr. Rouse, he'll be happy to talk with you. And again, that number, 229-436-0100. And Dr. Rouse will be happy to talk to you. Well, that's going to wrap up our program for today. Be sure to join us again next time on Your Health Today with Dr. Charlie Rouse.
Thank you for joining us for our program today. You can reach Dr. Rouse online through his website, themedicineman.com, or you can email Dr. Rouse at drrouse@att.net. Dr. Rouse is also available by phone at 229-436-0100. Join us again next time for Your Health Today with Dr. Charlie Rouse. Until then, please stay safe and may God bless you.